Hey everybody, welcome back to Engaging the Phenomenon. So the Wilson-Davis meeting, did it happen, did it occur, and was the result of the meeting the Wilson-Davis notes? This is a huge debate and controversy, and just recently we've received some huge corroboration on this subject. Now, this latest corroboration comes via Giuliano Marinkovic, and UFO Joe Murgia has published it in his latest blog, which I will leave in the description. Now, this has been a huge debate if the meeting ever occurred in the first place. People have been trying to nail this thing down. And again, this latest development really corroborates the point that the meeting between Admiral Thomas Wilson and Dr. Eric Davis did occur in Las Vegas, where the backstory is that Admiral Thomas Wilson met with Dr. Eric Davis, and Dr. Eric Davis interviewed him in regards to unacknowledged special access programs, in other words, government/contractor secret and special programs dealing with reverse engineering, UFO, or even alien technology. Now you can see why this is such a huge story and such a huge controversy when you're dealing with anything of these kind of stakes. So this latest development is a comment from Dr. Edgar Mitchell in a 2010 magazine interview, where Dr. Edgar Mitchell states, and I'm paraphrasing here, subsequently, the source must remain nameless because he works in classified programs, which is Dr. Eric Davis, met with an admiral in Las Vegas. And he's talking about Admiral Thomas Wilson, we can presume from what we know. And they were looking into these special access programs about UFOs, but were denied. I will post a picture clip of the exact comment here, but that's about what was said. Now that alone is a very powerful piece of corroboration, since we know that these notes did come from the Dr. Edgar Mitchell estate.
I want to bring up, before, because we're pressed for time, tell me about the Admiral Wilson transcript.
I can't discuss that.
You can't discuss.
I'm not at liberty to discuss it.
Because you're all over the...
Oh, I know.
All over it.
Yeah. They were leaked out of Ed Mitchell's estate, and there's nothing I can say about it.
These came from Dr. Edgar Mitchell's private files. We know that via James Rigney, who was instrumental in helping to bring this information out to the public. And Dr. Eric Davis has stated on the record that the Wilson-Davis leak did come from Ed Mitchell's estate, as he had said in an interview with Steve Greenstreet that was temporarily removed but should be re-uploaded sometime soon on YouTube, the New York Post YouTube channel, and the category of The Basement Office by Stephen Greenstreet. Now, all this together is pretty heavy evidence suggesting that the meeting did occur and that those notes are from Ed Mitchell's estate, Dr. Edgar Mitchell's files and collection, and especially regarding that we know Dr. Edgar Mitchell was in NIDS. He was on the Science Advisory Board. And we know that Dr. Eric Davis was also part of NIDS. And it's pretty reasonable to see how this memo, these notes, this report would have been within the NIDS circle. Another pretty huge corroboration point now that we have is via Bob Maguire. And he's come forward now just recently in the past 2 weeks, which UFO Joe Mergia also reported on, where Bob Maguire stated that while he was in a secure facility in around 2004, 2005, he saw a written letter from Admiral Thomas Wilson, who subsequently went on to be the director of the DIA, to somebody he knew. And the letter stated specifically that Admiral Thomas Wilson had spoken to Dr. Eric Davis about these unacknowledged special access UFO programs, and that he was denied access, and he was frustrated about this.
And I just want to mention again, like this interview, Joe Mergia really broke this with his interview with Bob Maguire, but it's very significant that Bob is here with us to talk about his own interaction back in 2004 to 2005 with the email, or with the letter rather, that he was shown that talked about Admiral Thomas Wilson's frustration with being denied access to the program. And Bob, am I right in remembering he mentioned Dr. Davis specifically by name in that letter? Am I getting that right?
In the mail.
In the mail.
So he had talked to Dr. Davis and had tried to find these SAPs and could not gain access.
That's really significant. And skeptics, again, are going to, if they're insistent on disbelieving everything, they'll disbelieve that. They'll say, well, you don't have any proof, which you don't. But I would just say this is another bit of relevant testimony from someone who is close to the source. And I, for one, am very grateful and glad that you came out to say what you did.
Trying to get a handle on this. So with all these data points together, I think it's pretty fair to assume at this point, not even assume, just look at the available information, say, this meeting did seem to occur. And these notes, the Wilson-Davis notes, memo, documents, do seem to be Dr. Eric Davis's notes about this interview and meeting that he had with Admiral Thomas Wilson in 2002. Now, again, I'm not expecting all the controversy to go away. I'm not expecting for there to be no naysayers, but I think we have more information now, and we can have a clearer picture of what did take place regarding the Wilson-Davis meeting and the Wilson-Davis notes. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that, because I think this is a very important development, and I think that there's still more to come. Let's see if this New York Times story on crash retrievals occurs, or if it includes the crash retrievals, if it includes the Wilson-Davis notes. If for some reason the New York Times does include this Wilson-Davis notes and or Commander Will Miller, who played a huge part in this, that will be a huge leap forward, because I would assume that the New York Times will have something to bring to the table as far as their investigative works and sources. So again, hope you appreciated this. I'm sure there's more to come soon, and this is a great step forward regarding the Wilson-Davis notes, in my opinion, and I hope to see more developments in it soon. Take care, guys.
Go ahead, Dr. Mitchell. I'm fine.
Well, I eventually went to the Pentagon and asked for a meeting with the Intelligence Committee of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, which I got with another naval officer who had had many similar experiences. And we told our story, and this gentleman, a vice admiral, said to us, well, I don't know about that, but I'm going to find out. And called a few weeks later and said he had found the source of the black budget funding for this project, and that he was going to subsequently investigate, because if it was real, he should know about it. As a matter of fact, he should be in charge. That was his words. And so we did get calls from him sometime later, and a report much later than that that he had found the people responsible for the cover-up and for the people who were in the know, and we're told, I'm sorry, Admiral, you do not have need to know here, and so goodbye.